Hey guys, if we reach 1,000 likes, we'll be giving out 2 of our new shirts. All you gotta do is click like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. One of the everlasting questions for YouTubers is how do I get big on YouTube? vidIQ pretty much helps with all of that. vidIQ allows you to find what tags will work best for your videos, figure out what your competition is using, and you can emulate. Don't have any ideas for tags? vidIQ will recommend you them as well as what to put in your description. One of my favorite little features of it is the SEO score, and it will pretty much tell you the searchability of your video. It's an insane tool that has literally helped my channel grow tens of thousands of subscribers. You can try it out for free at the links down in the descriptions.
Hey everybody, StormMage here. Have you ever had an anime that you absolutely gush over, but other people are just like, what are you talking about? I think all of us anime fans out there have had that problem at one point or another. So, since Molimnus was so gracious enough to bring me on board, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce 5 anime that I personally love, and know a lot of you out there have overlooked. And that's if you even have heard of them. In a world surrounded by Pokemon, Gurren Lagann, and Cowboy Bebop, we sometimes forget that there's more out there than the surface-level shows we see on Toonami. And while those shows are fine, we shouldn't put off what's been deemed obscure simply because it's not been made by the most popular studios, or being constantly talked about on anime boards. So join me as we count down the top 5 anime you might not have heard of. And with all this is just a personal opinion, and should not be taken as anything more. Eat Man and Eat Man 98. Eat Man was a manga created back in 1996 by Akihito Yoshitomi, who was also known for working on Blackjack and Ray, 2 other anime/manga featuring main characters with brooding, distant personalities. Eat Man received an anime adaptation in 1997, which loosely followed the plot of the manga, and then a sequel a year later called Eat Man 98, which was a little closer to the source material. What is Eat Man about? Well, you see, it's a lot like Kino's Journey, a more well-known anime about a lonesome wanderer who travels from place to place simply for the sake of seeing the world and exploring. Except in this instance, Kino's been replaced by DC's Matter Eater Lad. Or Kirby. Yeah, scratch that. It's Kino's Journey, but with Kirby. Kinurby's Journey. It follows the adventures of Bolt Crank, and yes, that is his name, and I'm fine with it, as he travels the world as a mercenary/adventurer for hire. He's a mysterious man of few words with a love of nonchalantly chowing down on inorganic stuff, like he's daring you to call him out on it just so he can brush you off like a boss and then be like, BAM! Ergun! Each season is only 12 episodes long, and sadly they are a pain in the ass to find, especially subbed versions. It took me a whole month just to re-find the episodes online, and even then I had to dig deep into the corners of the internet. But if you can find them, you're in for a fun, atmospheric, and often trippy show. Just a heads up though, the first Eat Man season was known for being one of those shows that was really more interested in the pretty visual than it was the coherent plot. Kind of like an episodic David Lynch film. Kind of. Giant Gorg! For anyone who's a fan of Giant Robo, Big O, or hell, Iron Giant, I'd like to suggest 1984's Giant Gorg. I picked this up at my local vintage stock one day just to see what it was all about, and honestly, I was pleasantly surprised. Very, very little of this anime is, well, Japanese, I guess. Most of the main characters are American, save for the main character Yu, and the first several episodes are set in New York. And then after that, the rest of it's set just off the coast of Samoa, which is just off the coast of Australia. The show's about a mysterious island that rises up from the sea one day, and the group of people who are sent off to uncover its mysteries. This includes Yu Tagami, who befriends the titular Giant Gorg, one of the giant robots protecting the island. Then there's archaeologist Dr. Wave, whose first name we never hear now that I think about it. So either his surname really is Doctor, or he's a Time Lord. I don't know. Then there's Dr. Wave's younger sister Doris, who I swear is like 15, maybe 20 years younger than her brother. Maybe Dr. Wave's parents conceived him back in high school or something, I don't know. And then there's Dr. Wave's Scooby-Doo companion Argos, who's... Look, he's Scooby-Doo, there's no getting around that. Same breed and even hangs out with a dirty hippie. The only difference is that Argo's more willing to go for the kill than Scooby. And finally, there's the man simply known as the Skipper, who, aside from Gorg, is the greatest thing about this anime. This walking demigod of a man ends up racking up a higher kill count than the battle robot the anime is named after. And he's the protagonist, Skipper, the ruiner of shit. All in all, Giant Gorg was a fun sit. It did have its slow moments, but aside from that, the plot was amusing and left you wanting to know more about the mysteries of the island. Certainly better than Lost did. And on top of that, every episode ended with a cliffhanger, reminding you to tune in next time. Same Gorg channel, same Gorg time. To inform you that Gorg is not merely a simple robot. He is an all-powerful network executive with his own broadcasting station who bent the fabric of space just so he could have a unit of time dedicated to him. All will kneel before Gorg! Betterman. Hey, who's seen Geiger? Okay, good. Hey, who knew that Geiger had a horror-themed spin-off set in the same universe? No? Come on, I've seen fan art and cosplay of it all over the internet. It can't be that obscure. Betterman is a 1999 horror-ish anime set in the same universe as King of Brave's Geiger. It's about a sudden outbreak of something called Algernon that's been afflicting the brains of humans and animals, turning them into horrible monsters. A corporation called Akamatsu Industries is sanctioned to deal with the threat the only way that Japanese know how to. Hire 2 high school children to combat the disease in a robot powered by dolphin brains. It's explained later on. The main cast is admittedly overshadowed by the awesomeness of the Betterman, but you know what? They're all fun and lighthearted despite the horrible Cronenberg monsters popping up all around them, except for Hinoki Sai, who fills the angsty revenge teen role throughout most of the series. Along the way, they encounter the mysterious Lamia, who's the titular Betterman of the series. Lamia is a human-like creature whose sole purpose is to combat Algernon, by turning into one of the coolest monsters in any anime I've seen. Seriously, look at this thing. Look at it. It looks like somebody gave a Utah Raptor the G-Virus. And on top of that, his signature move is a sonic scream like he's a Guns N' Roses vocalist. I definitely recommend Betterman if you're a fan of cosmic horror stuff or giant monster robot anime. Oh, and spoiler alert, there's a major plotline involving an ancient evil that's literally made from pure cancer. Christ, this show's amazingly weird. Terrestrial Defense Corp Dai-Guard. When I was a kid, whenever I felt small or lonely, I'd look up to the stars, wonder if there was life up there. Turns out I was looking in the wrong direction. When alien life entered our world, it was from deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. A fissure between 2 tectonic plates. A portal between dimensions. The quake. It was February 24th, 2018 when the first kaiju made landfall in Japan. By the time tanks, jets, and goddamn nuclear bomb took it down, a major city had already been destroyed. We feared it was just the beginning. We needed a weapon. Japan's military came together, pooling its resources and throwing aside old rivalries for the sake of the greater good. To fight monsters, we needed to create monsters of our own. The Dai-Guard project was born. Hey. So, yeah. Dai-Guard is essentially a 1999 Pacific Rim anime. Seriously, the premise is just freaking uncanny. And I love it to death. One day, a giant monster appears in Japan, and the government decides to level their own city, rather than let the thing roam free for another day. In preparation for another monster, named Heterodyne, the military contracts 21st Century Defense Security Corporation to build a giant robot to combat the beast. Only to have it sit idle for 10 years because no more Heterodyne appear. Congratulations, buddy. You went from savior of humanity to tax money sinkhole. Then one day, a Heterodyne finally appears from the sea, and Dai-Guard is put back into action. Despite the fact that he's held together with duct tape and piloted by 3 paper-pushing salarymen. The hot-headed pilot Shinsuke, determined navigator Ibuki, and the cool-headed engineer Kichiro. Everything about the show just oozes with fun. Or even the slightly awkward-sounding English dub cast sounds like they're really enjoying themselves.
The rest is composed of 4 cycles of transitional elements. In short, to answer your question, yes, we can set it on fire and blow it up.
The action's great, the characters are enjoyable, and from time to time, it actually makes you sit back and realize the financial burden a giant robot can impose upon a city. Everything from accidental damages brought on during the battle, to what happens to certain engineering crews when their jobs become useless after upgrades are made to Dai-Guard. Also, the opening theme's kinda catchy. Dai-Guard! Office workers, saving the world. Ohedo Rocket. A lot of anime fans out there might be familiar with a show called Ghost Stories. It's a supernatural horror anime about a group of young kids and their battles against the ethereal forces trapped within an abandoned school. When it was released in Japan, it was viewed as mediocre at best. So when it reached American shores, the ADV English dub team was basically told, screw it, wasn't that great? Do whatever you want with it. And they did, improvising most of the script and turning it into one of the funniest animes I've seen.
I want a huge allowance in breasts when I get older.
And when I get older, I want to fondle said breasts.
I pray that all my friends will become born-again Christians.
So popular was this dub that back in Japan, Animax aired Ghost Stories with the Japanese subtitles of the English dub. Think about that for a minute. So, what does that have to do with my #1 pick, Ohedo Rocket? Well, to show what a talented dub crew given free reign can do for an anime. Even an anime that's already well received back in its home country. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Ohedo Rocket, my favorite anime of all time. What do you get with Ohedo Rocket? Well, how about a great plot involving an adorably fluffy alien that crashes on Earth in the Edo period and hires a fireworks maker to build her a rocket to shoot her to the moon? Now that I think about it, I'm just now realizing Sora the alien has a similar body build to Betterman. And Zammed, another anime I really like. I'm starting to notice a pattern to my favorite anime characters. Not enough? How about one of the finest English voice casts you can find? A veritable gumbo of talent like Greg Aries, Brina Palencia, Charmin Lay, Jonathan Brooks. Christ, this is going to take forever. Chris Casson, Lee Clark, J. Michael Tatum, Stephanie Young, Vic Monya. Just do me a favor. Check out the list of voice actors in this show. Every one of them played their roles amazingly. Still need more convincing? Well, what if I said that the previous list of amazing voice actors was allowed to improvise their lines as they saw fit? Ohedo Rocket was already an anime that poked fun at itself and anime in general, and the English cast took it above and beyond. Brina Palencia, who played Sora the alien, in particular had this one line later in the show that just made me lose my mind. It's a scene where Sora just conveniently appears around the corner in another character's house, and as what she's doing there, well, no. I'm not going to say what she said, because that would just ruin the joke. But needless to say, Brina's take of that single line was so genuinely innocent and matter-of-fact that it legitimately brought me to tears. It was that funny. On top of all of that, it was produced by Studio Madhouse and directed by Seiji Mitsushima, who had previously worked on Shaman King and Full Metal Alchemist. Yet, despite all this pedigree, I run into very, very few anime fans who have ever heard of this show. I don't know, maybe that's just my luck, I guess? So, maybe getting its name out there will change that. Get more people talking about it. 'Cause, damn, Ohedo Rocket? That's just good anime. And there you have it, 5 awesome anime that I hope you go and check out and maybe fall in love with as much as I did. I am the StormMage, and I'll see you next time on Molimnus. Bye!
Woo! Hey. I do it for love. Do it for
do it for the love, Yes, I